Wow, happy Thursday. We made it to Thursday. There's a good chance I won't have a video tomorrow, but that's all right. Might be back Monday for Biden's Day. Haven't decided. I'm not working Monday for President slash Biden's Day, but we're going to be talking about socialism. Well, I don't know if it's socialism. It could be considered socialism. What, whatever it is, it's a Democratic proposal, and they're all about stealing from hard working families. But let's go ahead and see what this bill is all about. This was published today at 10:19 Eastern from one of your probably most trusted or least trusted news source, Fox News. Denver proposed baby bonds to close the racial wealth gap. Black lives and black wealth matter. I mean, black lives and black wealth matters. I just don't agree weaponizing them. I personally think all lives matter, which includes black lives as well. And there's also a lot of wealthy black people in entertainment and sports and whatnot, or good businessmen and women who do very well for themselves. So I don't know really who they're targeting. I mean, I know who they're targeting, but instead of dividing people, maybe we should start uniting people, build up the inner city, teach kids how to manage their money, teach kids how to be entrepreneurs and actually make money the honest way, learn how to do business dealings and learn how to balance a checkbook, learn how to present yourself and how to get ahead in life instead of what they're doing now. Democrats propose a high estate taxes to pay for their plan in closing the racial wealth gap. Well, you might want to look at other ways, to be honest. The House and Senate Democrats this week proposed a bill that would instruct the federal government to give anyone born in the U.S. after 2005. I don't know why 2005. $1,000 seed savings account, and they make contribution to that account until they're 18, and plan that sponsor says to aim to close Americans' racial wealth gap. If enacted into law, the bill will transfer billions of dollars in wealth from high-income family to low-income families. Wealth distribution. How dare them wealthy people have money? Who do you think they are to have all this money? They should be giving it to the poor people, because the poor people need it more, instead of teaching the poor people how to become successful. They're just going to keep them down with free handouts, rob it from people like me that have a great deal of wealth that I've been saving up all my life. For what? For the state, for this lady to go steal it from me when I die, to give it to kids? I don't know. It frustrates me because that's what's coming off. The plan says they'll aim at closing. If enacted, the bill will transfer billions of dollars in wealth from high-income families into low-income families, as it would fund programs by significantly increasing the estate tax revenue, also known as the death tax. You're stealing from the dead. Or every time you... The baby bond bill from Senator Cory Booker, Democrat, New Jersey, and Rep. Alayna Pressley, Massachusetts, would give children up to $2,000 a year in the lowest income families, an amount that would drop as family earns more. If a family makes more than 500% of the federal poverty level, their kids will only receive initial $1,000 payment, punishing those wealthy people. They estimate the children in the poorest family would have $46,000 to use for school or buying a home at the time they turn 18. And Booker said in a statement that the plan is explicitly aiming to fixing wealth inequality. We don't really have a wealth inequality. We have people who don't want to apply themselves to go through the process of becoming wealthy, and they rely on broken promises from the Democrats and Republicans that they're going to help solve their problems when they could just help themselves with a little bit more common sense, maybe take an economic course, maybe take business management course. Precisely, he's more explicitly said that the change would help black and brown folks because they need your help because they're either weak, meek, unintelligent. They don't know how to help themselves. So we're going to add insult to injury by helping them with payouts, which will keep them even more down because they don't know how to manage their money. I mean, the only way to make money is to work hard, apply yourself, become better at a skill or a set of skills, and work your way up the ladder. Not everyone's going to be able to do it. Some people are able to do it, and those that can't do it within a company just need to move to another company or start their own company and build their wealth that way. We need to teach kids at a young age how to be those type of people, and not just hand out money and hope for the best. The racial wealth gap in America is the result of generations and precise intentional policy violence. So we must have it intentional as precise about advancing policies that address it head on. She said in a statement introducing the bill, the baby bonds is one of the most effective tools we have in closing the racial wealth gap and breaking cycles of poverty and trauma that have prevented black and brown folks from thriving in this country. You know, I've worked with a lot of people at my company. It's a multiracial company, probably a multicultural company. We have white people, we have men, women, we have brown, we have black, we have Muslims, we have Middle Easterns, Asians, and they're all doing pretty well for themselves. They're making a decent, because they applied themselves, they worked hard, they worked up the ladder, and they're making a nice living. Not everybody can. It doesn't matter what your skin tone is. Some people are able to break the cycle. But giving money to people that have no sense of money is not going to help the issue. Black lives and Black Lives Wealth matter, which is why Congress must pass our bill without delay, she added. Yeah, you know, I think she this is a reintroduction, so it failed last time. It's probably going to fail this time. Data released by the Presley office this week said black households in our congressional district have a median net worth of $8. That's an issue. While white households have a median net worth of nearly $250,000. That may be true, but I know a lot of white people that have $8 in their account. They may be living large and have $50 in their account. These disparities were created by a generation of government policies contributing to the national racial wealth gap in her office. I don't know, you might want to ask Michael Jordan if he has $8 in his bank account. Might want to ask Cori Bush if she has $8 in her bank account. Might want to ask, I don't know, name any rapper out there if they have $8 in their bank account that's successful. Does Jay-Z have $8 in his account? I'm listing black folks because that is the target of this bill. There's a lot of wealth in the black community. Now I understand in the inner city they're ridden with gang violence and have a high crime rate because the city's been under Democratic control for over 100 years, and nothing changes. Nothing changes. It seems like crime just gets worse and worse in Chicago and New York and a few other places, causing the wealth gap. I mean, I'm not saying that she's completely wrong. It was created by a generation of governmental policies. I mean, yeah, we do know what redlining is. We do know of segregation. We do know that America has a doesn't have a clean history when it's talking about other groups other than the English and the French and some German. But this is year 2023, and we need to teach kids that they don't have to follow their parents' footsteps of being gangbangers or hookers or strippers. They could go start a company, a legal company, in transportation or anything, or selling hats, selling shirts, and become rich. Presley office estimates that less affluent Black and Latino families would get a larger baby bond contribution than white families. It says by age 18, the median Black child would have about $29,800. The median Latinx would have about $22,300. I mean, why not make it 30 for each? And the median white child will have $11,690. Democrats said the bill will be fully paid by raising the estate and the inheritance tax, also known as the death tax. So not only do I get taxed if a family member dies and they give me a lump sum of cash, I have to pay that out in taxes. So you want to raise that so I'm mourning? I mean, yeah, I may not be owed that money, but that person left me that money for the purpose of me using it to better myself. But no, the state wants it because they view that I don't need that much money. It's not my money to be had. To go back to the state, that's how they view it. Specifically, Booker and Presley said that the bill would return the estate levels to those seen in the 2009. In that year, no taxes were paid on the value of estates of up to $3.5 million. The amounts above that level were taxed as much as 45%. That's too low to these people. They want 100%. You shouldn't get an inheritance. If you're, let's say, if your grandmother or your mother, your father, grandfather died, and they left you, let's say, $1 million because you're the only survivors, they don't want you to have that $1 million. They want you to give up that $1 million to the state, so they could do racial wealth equality. By comparison, in 2022. The first $12 million on the estate was free from taxation, and the amount above the exception phase was taxed at 40%. According to the Tax Foundation, the IRS collected more than $18 billion in tax or in estate taxes in 2021. Let's see here. Does anyone want to bet that $48K that ends up in the bank gets used for anything but its intended purposes? The way out of poverty is through education and strong parenting. Let's take the money and use it for educational vouchers. Let's not take the money. Maybe we should hire a bunch of retired Marine Corps drill instructors and give them absolute power to educate and control the students. That would solve the problem. I mean, I don't know. This is the definition of socialism, people. If you vote for these new far-left Dems, you're voting for socialists. While we're a capitalist country, go out and earn your money and not have it handed to you by the government. Margaret Thatcher, the problem of socialism, you eventually run out of other people's money. Let's see a better idea. All the black millionaires pull their money. The professional athletes, doctors, movie producers, and all the like apparently have been held back by slavery. They should be able to use that to fund the whole program. Oh, no, they don't want their money touched. They want the racist white person money. So let me understand this. I go work full time as I did my husband our whole adult life, and we save and pay our bills and our taxes required by the government. We managed to be able to retire when he was 65, and then myself when I was 65. So to be clear, that for us, working 47 years solid while raising our 2 children, because that's how many kids we can handle and afford while working full time. It's all about choices. And these 2 wants to tax my kids' inheritance that we worked for and give it away to make it all equitable. Wonder why all these people were doing while they went to school and got jobs and saved money. My money is for my children and for my grandchildren. Take some personal responsibility. And by the way, I didn't grow up with parents either. I was raised in a girls' home where I left there with $100. I had no inheritance from my parents at all. Let's see here. Let's not forget, add that 97% of these people would squander it. What would happen with the stimulus check? Because all of a sudden, people were buying all these gaming systems and big expensive TVs that they couldn't otherwise afford. There's a lot more need to educate people on finances than to give them someone else's money. But see, that's the difference. You don't expect to be given anything. These groups expect to be given anything and everything. And if you did get an inheritance, the damn death tax takes half. They already took 30 to 40 in some of that same money already. So the money's already taxed. It's like triple tax on it. I mean, I understand that you want poor people to get out of poverty, but just handing poor people money isn't going to be an issue. I mean, that is an issue, but it's not going to solve the issue. There's a lot of people that win big mega lotteries. They're living good for about a year. Then maybe around the year 2, maybe year 3, because they have no financial sense. They're back being poor. And sometimes they're even poorer before they took the money, which meaning they're worse off because they were handed free money. I mean, they paid for the lottery ticket and all, but they just squandered it and they're worse off now. But I understand, having kids have some cash in the bank when they turn 18 is definitely a positive. And I don't know the approach to go for it. Maybe you could set up a program that's 100% tax-free off of the gross income a parent makes. If they set up a child's account, and any money up to, let's say, I don't know, $200, $300 a month will be tax-free, and you can't touch that money until the kid turns 18. But that is having the parents take responsibility of the child's wealth and saving it for their future. And maybe make it to where they can't touch it. And if they don't touch it, they have a very high interest rate that's applied to those accounts, to where when the child does make 18, they could take that money and apply it to their future. And that's giving the responsibility to the parent to make sure that their kid is taken care of, and that should be tax-free. I'm just saying that this is just a different proposal of giving power back to the parent to ensure that they save for their children's future, instead of just taking money from dead people that's already been taxed when they made the income off of it. Anyways, that's my video. I could go on and rant and how terrible this idea is to tax dead people even more. Leave a comment down below on what your thoughts are. With that being said, have yourself a wonderful day, morning, and evening, and have yourself a wonderful weekend, and happy Biden Day or President's Day.